riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, Nadia Comaneci to my Bella Lugosi, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Well, thank you for asking. I am, let me check here.
Oh, don't check.
Quite aroused this week. Tim?
No, you're Tim.
This is a sexy album.
Are you calling me Tim?
I am.
Why?
Well, Tim.
I'm guessing you're Tim.
As a continuing effort to make this show utterly confusing to the point of unlistenability, I have taken the liberty of having you and all of our employee names legally changed.
Tim?
We are all Tim Richardson. Every single employee, every intern, legal counsel, wives of our legal counsel, both co-hosts are now Tim Richardson.
Gino and his wife are both Tim Richardson. Did I catch that?
You are Tim Richardson. We are all Tim.
Of all the things that you've listed so far, the fact that you made me Tim Richardson, least surprising. But the creativity and the stick-to-itiveness to do that for 50 plus individuals.
Only cost me thousands of our show's dollars.
I hate you so much. It's, you know what, Tim? I'm impressed as hell. This is going to be a retribution beyond which I never thought even fathomable. This is borderline mutually assured destruction levels, just borderline.
Excellent. Yeah.
You've opened us up to just a mountain of liability. Well, you can't just change people's names. Like, it's fun if you and I do it to each other, but we don't own these. Well, no, the interns, fine.
No. We do not own them.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
All right. I'm nervous, though. Real nervous.
You got to calm down. We own their likeness.
Oh, yes, of course.
Which is, of course, including their legal name.
Yes, and all merchandising rights.
Sure, it's like the NCAA. In return, they get skills for free.
Right.
But also, they have to work really hard for it.
Have any of them actually graduated from the program yet?
No. Funny thing about the program, it's a lot like your Scientologies. Just when you think you've reached that highest level, you learn that there's another level, no matter how hastily it seems to have been written.
No.
Again, talking about our program, not the program of Scientology.
Which is a real religion.
Of course. We would never say otherwise on this show, ever. Anyway, Tim, what song have we been listening to? Are we going to be talking about this week?
We are talking about the sexy, the sensual, the apparently arousing song, The Dolphins Cry, released by ungoogleable band Live on August 21st, 1999. This was suggested by Brad, but not our Brad, and Colt on Instagram.
Talk about a band that didn't see the internet coming.
Yeah.
Good luck. And I know, I've seen what they've tried to do. They put plus signs around it. No. Nobody's Googling with plus signs. Yeah. Nobody's Googling Live, turns out.
Yeah,
so
it also turns out if you Google Live band, like I thought maybe that would help. Doesn't help. It makes it worse.
Yeah. We are, of course, talking about the ill-named band Live and their hit, The Dolphins Cry.
Their sexy hit.
Oh, we'll get there in just a second. Let's make that the second question I ask. The first, of course, is going to have to be, do you hate this song?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I do. This is not a great song. It's like, let's say you like chopped off a guy's arm that had like a lot of flannel and maybe like a leather bracelet on it, and you jam that into a blender with some Pearl Jam CDs, maybe Gavin Rossdale's Head. Everything 90s, if you just blended it together, that's what this is. It's not good. It's the worst of all of those things. It's the death rattle of the 90s.
I would definitely say that in that blender or stew, 90s stew, maybe you've got some REM in there. Poor man's REM.
Yeah.
Who's that character that runs around as though he's Tom Cruise, but really is nowhere near? Ethan Hawke.
He is the poor man's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and this might be the poor man's REM. There's certainly more grunge to it, for sure. But it's alternative rock, we'll say.
Sure. Let me ask you, Tim, do you hate this song?
I tell you what, gonna be hard for me to talk to you at all this episode if you keep calling me that blasphemous name.
I'm not gonna stop, so just probably keep going.
Did you have the presence of mind to change your name back to Tim Richardson?
Oh yeah, we're all named Tim.
Can I have a nickname?
Nope.
Wow. What about Teasy?
No. I think your punishment is to be Tim Richardson.
I can't stand it. Get it off me.
Do you hate this song, Tim? Best several $1,000s of the show's money I've ever spent, by the way.
Tim, you've done a lot of horrible stuff to me. Horrible things. This is the worst. You've made me you.
Yeah. Here's the problem. You're a very creative guy. You can come up with some pretty great nicknames. And I had to get something that you couldn't top. And I think I did it.
Yeah, no, the next move will not be name-oriented.
Excellent. Do you hate this song?
You know, I almost said no there, but I gotta speak from the heart. Yes.
Yeah.
I hate it for lots of reasons.
Yeah, and we'll get into those reasons.
That's exciting. Okay, next question. Why are you so aroused?
Oh, because of the content of the song.
Oh man, you and I might have heard different songs. Because if it's what I think it's about and you're aroused by that, I have so many more questions. I'm not going to tell you what I think it's about till we get into it. Also, please don't check your arousal in front of me ever again. So disturbing.
That's fair. You know what? I was gonna argue, but I apologize. That was inappropriate.
Yeah, that's crass. Let's move on. We both already hate it, which, you know, it's been a while since we both started out in Hateville. Been a while. The way you bathed in light. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Here's the thing, Garrett. It's not making me less aroused.
Gross. Okay, I'm curious, Tim, is this the first time your dolphin has cried?
It's not. I've listened to live before. I owned Throwing Copper at some point in my life, but my only memories of that are the song Lightning Crashes and the album cover, which I thought to be Frankenstein, learned this week, not Frankenstein. I have heard this song on the radio, and a single time I've heard this song live with you at ACL in 2017 when we went to see Live, just to see what that's like.
We did see Live.
Yep.
And then we burst out laughing when they started playing the Dolphin song.
Yeah.
I had totally blocked that out.
Yep. Well, I gave a little bit of your history, but what about you, Tim? Other Tim? We'll call you Tim. Anyway, what about you, Tim?
Well, Tim, this is Garrett, formerly Garrett, artist formerly known as Garrett, currently Tim.
Probably just easier just to say Tim.
I can't. I'll find a shorter way, but I will not be a Tim. Anyway, so Tim, my history, you've really done something here. I'm so proud and angry. I'm so proud and angry.
I mean, I hope you change it back at some point, because I'm not gonna, but we actually do need to establish that there are two people on this show, because it's super confusing. But that's part of the fun.
Yes.
Have you heard this song before?
Right. So I owned this album, and basically the logic
but you
went...
were like 26.
I was not 26. I am much younger than you imply. Anyway, the logic at the time went, oh, I really liked that Throwing Copper, or at least that one song from Throwing Copper. When was that? That was like last year, right? No, it was 5 years prior. I'm sure I'll like this. No idea Secret Samadhi even existed. Bought this and was like, okay, Live. This is going to be, what's this about dolphins?
Yeah, that's fair.
So I know every word to this song and did before this week. Don't know another song from this album, though.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, again, like even the Throwing Copper album, I know I've listened to that all the way through multiple times. It's very forgettable.
Oh, yeah. Something about a placenta.
Which is probably why you thought that you might want more Live, is because you didn't remember the old Live.
Oh, yeah. Go back and listen to Live. You're like, okay, I guess. Watered down Bush. Thanks.
Yeah, Live is to Bush as Ethan Hawke is to Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was the line I was trying to draw earlier.
No.
But I was doing it to R.E.M. But you could do it to a number of bands like that. Not to say the two sound alike, but you can definitely hear both in this band.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's your history. That's my weird, sad history. Before we can talk about the song itself, let's get into the history of this band, Tim. Help us understand who is Live and how did this Dolphin song come to be?
The, again, poorly named band Live consists of Ed Kowalczyk on vocals and sometimes guitar, Patrick Dahlheimer on bass, Chad Taylor on guitar, and Chad Gracie on drums. Tim, that's right. There are two Chads in this goddamn band.
They should have named their band Two Chads.
They should have. Live was formed when these guys were in high school in York, Pennsylvania. They played for a while while as first aid in the early 80s, or mid 80s probably. Then Ed joined. They became Action Front, then Paisley Blues, then Club Fungus, and then Public Affection. So Live, technically, was not the worst band name these idiots had.
No, it isn't. Now, all of those, though, every one of them, far easier to find on the internet.
Absolutely. When they graduated from high school in 1989 or so, they self-released a cassette called Death of a Dictionary. They started playing around New York City, and they eventually got a contract with Radioactive Records and renamed themselves Live in 1991. And I wonder, do you think this was sort of like a, who do you want to go see live tonight kind of thing?
No, this is just a bad name. Or they were having an argument saying, I just want to see our name up there on the marquee tonight, such and such, live. Hey, man. You got it. What if there was no name? What if their name isn't Live? It's just no name, and it always said no name Live.
Oh.
And so everybody's like, oh, I guess they're Live. Maybe they accidented their way into it. They're the band. The only dumber name than Live is we don't have a name. Well, good luck, genius. You're not going to make any money if nobody can find you in the record store. Hey, where's your no name section? Get out.
You know what band has no name?
No.
The Good, the Bad, and the Queen. That's the name of their album.
Well, you can have an album that's the same name as your band.
Right, but when they came out with that, they didn't have a band name. It was just no band released that album.
Interesting. I assume they just put it under that as the artist eventually.
Yes.
If you've never heard it, folks, and you like, I don't know, what, Gorillaz and that whole business.
Yeah, it's a weird band. They're kind of subdued.
First album's way better than the second.
Yeah, it's a good, like, side project kind of album.
Yeah, it's not, you're not going to listen to this all the time, but it's a weird album. If you like music, go listen to it.
Jerry Harrison, keyboardist for Talking Heads, produced their first EP and their debut album, Mental Jewelry. Both of those came out in 91. They started to get popularity on MTV, Woodstock 94, and then they were on a Peter Gabriel tour. And then they released Throwing Copper, which sold over 8 million copies in the US, one of which was to a young Tim Richardson. Here's a fun time capsule for you. I bought this at a Blockbuster Music when people wanted to purchase music, and also Blockbuster existed.
God damn. I knew a kid who got arrested for shoplifting at a Blockbuster Music.
Yeah, that sounds right. So again, it sold 8 million copies, but it didn't hit number one on the Billboard 200 until the 52nd week it was released. So
a year later.
Yes. So this sold super slowly, but eventually really fucking well.
8 million in the US. That's incredible. So they could have just stopped right there, really.
They should have stopped right there.
That's what I'm saying.
In 97, they released Secret Samadhi. Is that how you say it?
That's how I'm saying it.
Fair enough. Named after Hindu meditation. That hit number one on the Billboard 200 as well, but it only ended up selling like 2 million copies. In 99, they released The Distance to Here, featuring the song of the week, Dolphins Cry. That same year, Ed would appear in a movie that my co-host Tim and Fred Durst have both seen about 28 times, Fight Club. And I don't know if...
Did you call it The Fight Club?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
We'll
check the tape. Tim. The Gino Tim. I don't know why I'm bothering. He's asleep. We'll check the tape.
Yeah. Anyway, Ed is the guy that serves Ed Norton and Helena Bonham Carter. And we'll get to it, but if you've seen his look in the music video, he maybe just filmed that scene before filming the music video. Maybe he's trying to be sexy and hairless like a dolphin. It's unclear.
Yes, he has a shaved head. I think he shaved it and was like, oh, this is the look. I was going bald. This is the move.
Yeah, and it's a strong move. There's nothing wrong with having a shaved head, people.
Oh, no, not at all. It's a very respected move. It's probably, Tim, the greatest contribution that Bruce Willis has made to humankind.
Yeah.
Before that, it just wasn't allowed. He'd be a psychopath. You'd see a guy with a shaved head and be like, what's this guy's deal?
Nazi.
Yeah, what kind of hand gestures is this guy going to make? You see Bruce Willis and you're like, oh, what a rugged individual.
Yeah, you have to be terrifying to pull it off, though.
Are you looking at my head? No, Mr. Willis.
I always say yes. He likes you to look.
I forgot you interned for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you could talk about that, but you can't. So
nope, signed a non-disclosure agreement. In 2000, they did a co-headlining tour with Counting Crows, where the lead singer of that shitbox would sing on Dolphins Cry, and I think he actually sings backing vocals on the studio version. Mm-hmm. And then Ed would sing on Hangin' Round, which is cool.
I guess.
In 2001, they released V, which featured the song Simple Creed, so if you'd like to hear Live perform with a British rapist, that's the song for you.
Oh, did we make a mistake, Tim? Tim?
Well, we can do that too. Don't worry. No, we didn't make a mistake. This song needs to be addressed. 2003, they released Birds of Prey, spelled like prayer. In 2004, they did a greatest hits compilation and a version of Johnny Cash's I Walk the Line, which an American Idol contestant would later be accused of ripping off, essentially taking their arrangement and saying it was his own. In 2006, they released songs from Black Mountain, then Radiant Sea, a collection of bootleg rarities, and 2 new songs in 2007. Then they toured with Collective Soul and Blues Traveler. Again, those two make a lot of sense. In 2009, they took a hiatus. Ed makes a solo album. The other members made a new band called The Gracious Few. Then in 2011, the band reforms without Ed. 2012, they announced that Chris Shin would be their new lead singer, and they sued Ed for using the band's name while promoting his solo act. I guess he was saying, I'm Ed from Live, which is a confusing and probably not that helpful way of promoting anything.
Sure, but I also feel like he's well within his right to say, I used to be the lead singer of this band.
Nope. Talk to our lawyer, Tim.
Ugh, this is so maddening.
They released The Turn with their new singer, while Ed played acoustic shows for the 20th anniversary of Throwing Copper. Ed rejoins as the lead singer, Chris is out, and they released an EP before they joined Bush and Our Lady Peace on the Ultimate Tour to promote the 25th anniversary of Throwing Copper, 16 Stone, and Naveed. The End.
Great.
Sorry, I know you hate that. Fiend.
No, that's
Finn?
worse.
Is it Finn? Am I saying it wrong? Is that your problem?
So what's been going on for the last 12 years?
They released garbage.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
Who cares?
No, I trust your instincts, Tim.
Yeah.
I also want to say, recently purchased a new vehicle, and it came with one of those temporary free trials of the satellite radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that Johnny Cash cover they did. Absolute shit. I try to be kind, find the silver lining, be a nice counterbalance to the negative Nancy that is other Tim, but it is shit. It's offensive to Johnny Cash and his memory. You and I could do a better job.
Oh, let's do that and release it.
We ought to, because people would accidentally download it thinking it was the original. Great history, Tim. That brings us to the song itself. Before we talk about it, folks, let's take a little listen. Obviously, go out, watch the music video. We're going to talk about it. It's 4 minutes. Hell, if you don't even want to watch the whole thing, watch the first 2 minutes. You'll get the gist. It mostly just repeats itself, but it'll be worth your time. In case you can't, here's a little taste of The Dolphins Cry by Live.
So this is just aggressively mediocre standard 90s rock.
Oh, yeah.
This is Seven Mary 3, this is Bush, this is Counting Crows, this is Collective Soul, this is Creed.
Three Doors Down?
Yeah, absolutely. This might be the exact same song, though, as Creed's Can You Take Me Higher. I don't know if those songs have ever been in the same room together, but they might be the same thing.
Probably time cop rules. Should they try to occupy the same space, it will destroy the space-time continuum.
Oh.
When I purchased the album originally, I had it in my head that Live rocked. Real rock and roll, Tim.
Yeah.
And then I get this nonsense, and I mean, we're going to get into the lyrics, so I don't want to jump right to there, but I mean, this thing in another world could have just been a train song.
Oh, yeah. This is adult contemporary with electric guitars.
Yes.
Because this is post-grunge, right? This is a genre that took all the worst elements of grunge and just said, that's the part we liked about it. Creed does the exact same thing. Scott Stapp and Ed are both doing this. It's like a bad Eddie Vedder impression, but they were just like, the thing people like about Eddie Vedder's voice is the, like, grunting everything, right? The
right.
Like,
You want to do that one again? I liked it.
I mean, I probably will. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's derivative of that, but they've taken all the wrong lessons. And I'm going to say, sorry to be rude, folks, not a great singer. And so the distilled version through this, to me, Tim, it's all very back of the throat. It's almost whisper singing.
It's loud whisper singing.
It's a loud whisper. It's I think he's talking to you. It's Homer Simpsoning, but it's also through gritted teeth. The wheel bathed in light. Like, it is intense and nonsense, which makes for an odd juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Juxtaposition.
One of those is probably right.
Mississippi. Yeah, I think we nailed it, though. It's loud whisper singing through clenched teeth. Constipation singing?
Yeah. But again, in the back of his mind, he thinks he sounds like Eddie Vedder. It's sung with this smug satisfaction of, I am nailing this.
Yes, you can hear the smile in his voice. I will say that. It's the smug sound of self-satisfaction from a person that doesn't realize everybody knows they're full of shit.
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm nailing this. These women definitely want to fuck me. Nope and nope.
I think they probably did, though. People had sex
probably.
with him as a result of this song.
That's gross.
Yeah, and we'll get into why.
Oh, God, we will. Musically, I think we've said pretty much all that need be said. We've talked about many of the influences, many of the sounds we can hear. You know, Diet Bush. This feels quintessential 99. It was, for me, and you might have not quite been there yet, by 99, I personally was starting to look for music that was way less produced, way less engineered. And this song is just, I mean, it's a nice little package.
Yeah.
There's no loose ends. There's no soul to it. What else do we need to say?
We could talk about how I was unaware that the song is about banging and getting to these lyrics.
Before I say a word of the lyrics, I want to express to the listener, if they, for whatever reason, couldn't hear this song, the words start before the music, right?
Yes, and that's a mistake.
Huge mistake. The words come out before the music, and immediately I am on the defensive. I'm alarmed. I feel as though they're trying to intimidate me.
Yeah, here's the thing. When this song starts, my immediate reaction is like, I need to make sure my back's against a wall because shit's about to go down.
Exactly. I won't sing the whole song, as other Tim has begged me not to, as I have been singing it a lot this week. But I'm just going to give you the first two lines, and then I'll stop, probably, maybe.
Give us the first four.
We'll see.
Give us the first four, because that really is the crux of my argument. Lines 3 and 4.
We'll see. Okay, we'll give it a go. Keep in mind, folks, it begins a cappella. The way you're bathed in light reminds me of that night God laid me down into your rose garden of trust.
Right. So, first of all, bravo. Very well done. At this point, music starts. Doesn't really matter. The point is, he refers to sex as God laying him down into her rose garden of trust.
Yeah, Tim. Now, I've mentioned before, I'm not great at intimate language, but I do know a woman gets pretty moist when you refer to her garden of trust.
Rose garden of trust. It has to be rosy.
Oh, you mean thorny?
Yes.
That she should seek medical attention. It shouldn't be sharp. Vagina should have a lot of a vagina can have a lot of things, Tim. It should not have corners.
The Gilgamesh vagina is 5 feet tall and contains razor sharp teeth. Do you really expect us to have sex with that? Yeah, so this is Ed. I guess he's remembering somebody he banged maybe just once.
Okay. I'm with you so far.
Yeah, he's remembering
Pretty
her.
gross way to talk about sex.
Or perhaps he's seeing her on a subway, right? He's seeing her in the subway light. Subway tiles behind her. The light's flickering. There's clearly a water leak. He sees her bathed in that light, and it reminds him of the way she looked that one time God laid him in her rose garden of trust, as I will now always refer to sex as.
As you should.
Yeah.
The song continues, and I was swept away with nothing left to say. Some helpless fool. Yeah, I was lost in a swoon of peace. No one's ever said swoon of peace.
No, these are just nonsense phrases.
I will say the reason for these words, and maybe I'm reading into it, Tim, I want to be fair here, but I'm getting a light ocean imagery feel with these. Swept away, helpless fool, lost in a swoon of peace. Feels like that tide, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we know he's
I see where you're going. I'll let you get there, and I'm into it. I want you to know. You know how I said this was a sexy song before?
Uh-huh.
Sexier. It's sexier with where you're going. He's swept away with nothing left to say. He sees this woman, or possibly not a woman, but he sees this individual, we'll say that. And he's immediately taken back to that night. That sexy, sensual, seductive night.
Right. He's breathless at the thought of it.
Yes. You're all I need to find. So when the time is right, come to me sweetly. Come to me. Come to me.
All right.
Fuck me. Sorry, he doesn't actually whisper that. I was just whispering it.
You always are.
Yes.
So it sounds like he is luring his love to him, Tim. Would you agree with that?
Love or somebody that he had sex with once, yes.
Okay, sure. Well, let's refer to them as his love for now. So maybe he's sending out the vibe, maybe, I don't know, chumming the waters, so to speak, hoping to bring that special someone back into his life.
Sure.
The song continues. Love will lead us, all right. Love will lead us, she will lead us. Can you hear the dolphins cry? See the road rise up to meet us. It's in the air we breathe tonight. Love will lead us, she will lead us. He's in love, Tim, and you know who he is in love with and why we're suddenly talking about dolphins is something which I think we're going to have to pause on for a moment, because there's no way for me to read the rest of this song without just saying it. This is a song about a man who loves dolphins. He loves them emotionally, romantically, and most importantly, and worst of all, physically.
Well, here's the thing, Garrett. It's possible that maybe it's not an actual dolphin.
Dolphin play? Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe not even dolphin play, Garrett. Maybe it's just somebody who makes some sexual noises that are dolphin-like. It's an involuntary thing. It's not intentional dolphin play. It's just dolphin-like.
Okay, so that woman that you were talking about earlier in the subway, not only is he brought back to the thought of her in the moonlight when he was laid down in her garden of trust, he also is reminded of the dolphin-like moaning noises she makes during coitus.
Absolutely. It is also possible that it is about dolphin play, and he would like to shave himself hairless, lube himself up, and slide around on the floor while keeping his arms tightly pressed against his sides, using his feet as a flipper.
And I will propose a third thing, where one evening out in God's great ocean, he had an intimate moment with a dolphin, has become obsessed with that dolphin, and this song is a anthem, a declaration of his love, and an acknowledgement that he doesn't care who knows it.
Yeah, absolutely. I did search quite a bit to see if this band or this guy was involved heavily in any sort of dolphin-related charities, and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
If it is what you're describing, I don't think he really wants to help the dolphin.
Real Mr. Hands situation. How do we always end up back there? Now, Tim, I also did some Googling under your profile, so enjoy this.
Well, it's ours now, Tim.
Can't get used to it. So I started Googling around to see if there was a chance first that Live had ever been accused of and or prosecuted for crimes against a dolphin. And he hadn't, but then a little bit of a rabbit hole sent me towards a couple articles about John Lilly and Margaret Levatt. You know who these people are?
No.
Well, Dr. John Lilly got super into the concept that dolphins could speak to man if only we spent the time to teach them.
Let me rephrase. Yes.
Well, there's a whole bunch of this is a very long story, so I won't sidetrack us with the story of John Lilly and Margaret Levatt, except to say I will focus on one particular aspect of their work in which Margaret lived for 6 months in a human/dolphin habitat. So everything was in water, always. Like she slept in water, she cooked in water.
Was she dressed as a dolphin?
No. Well, unless you consider a wetsuit like a dolphin.
Yes, I do.
Well, then she was, yes. So a couple things stuck out to me about this tale. First of all, this was all in the service of teaching dolphins to speak, not communicate, speak. Like, speak English, bitch.
You lazy dolphins.
Right, because they were like, look how big their brains are. They must be geniuses. Speak.
Maybe they don't have the right vocal cords.
Exactly. Never did anybody go like, but they don't have necks like our necks. They have dolphin necks. Anyway, science was immature at the time, and common sense just didn't exist. However, so a couple things that stuck out. First of all, she lived with dolphins for 6 months. That's insane. Like, talk about prune hands. She didn't leave the water. 2, every day she did a number of lessons where she was constantly, teaching dolphins to speak, but one of the dolphins was a bit of a nuisance and constantly wanted to fuck her. It became incredibly common for, in the middle of the lesson, as a matter of just getting through the day, for her to just jerk this dolphin off. She didn't do it with shame. She did not do it romantically, though, to quote her, she may have done it sensually. She did it as a matter of due course so that she could continue the lesson and just saw it as a biological need of this animal. That wasn't until Hustler got a hold of the story and told the tale of the woman who was living with dolphins and giving them hand jobs. And multiple witnesses were like, oh yeah, Margaret totally jerks off dolphins. Eventually, John Lilly kind of loses all interest in trying to communicate with dolphins after he realizes that's a stupid idea. And he's also super into acid at this point and how he can use acid to do God knows what. At one point, it was also communicate with dolphins. But you know what? Turns out acid, despite acid being given to the dolphins in liberal quantities, it didn't seem to have any psychoactive effect on them. Which is pretty
I'm going to
interesting.
try that out later.
No, you're not.
I am.
You don't have a dolphin.
I live near SeaWorld.
You do. Well, near enough.
Yeah.
Also far enough away to not be an immediate suspect.
Yep.
Poison those dolphins away, Tim. Finally, Tim, a little PS on that dolphin that she would jay off. Once Lily's attention turned to acid and acid-oriented experiments, there wasn't enough funding to maintain the research lab, so all the dolphins get sent off to various locations. Well, the one that she would sensually massage sadly got so sad that he killed himself. Apparently, dolphins do that.
With like a handgun? Like, what do you mean?
No. They take a big breath and then they slowly sink to the bottom and then they never go up for air.
I'm just going to say this. Some people might find this distasteful. I think it would be absolutely adorable to come across a dolphin that has hung himself. Like, he's got a noose in there. There's a little stool tipped over. Like, I'm not making fun of suicide. Dolphin suicide, a little funny.
Yeah, I'm picturing a narwhal. I feel like the horn makes for a better neck.
I don't know what that means.
That's going to help the noose stay on. Otherwise, with the dolphin, it's just not very believable.
How's the horn going to help the noose stay on?
It can lasso on that horn, create some resistance. So it goes on the neck, right? The horn, it's got kind of a chin situation.
Yeah, but I would argue so does a dolphin.
Yeah, but it's got no horn.
You're
got no horn, Tim.
Okay, listeners, I don't understand what Garrett's talking about. I don't understand how a horn would help a noose stay on a narwhal. If you understand, draw it and send it in.
Yeah, most importantly, show how it differs from a dolphin.
Good
To
God.
be clear, Tim wants you to hand draw images or use a computer, I don't care. Hand draw images of a dolphin and a narwhal being hung by the neck until dead.
Well, hanging themselves.
Jesus. I was going to have him draw a little executioner. It doesn't have to be a suicide for
Even
this.
more adorable, but it's a dolphin / narwhal executioner with the little black
What if it's
hood.
Octopus, where it has hoods on all its legs.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
That's stupid. Seahorse. Oh, yeah, we go ironic with it. Tiny little seahorse.
Or a crab. A crab would be adorable.
Yeah, I wish you'd stop using the word adorable.
Yeah, because, they have those eyes that stick out on stalks. Tiny executioner hood on each one of those.
I mean, we've really made this much better than where it started. I want to say that.
And I think we've done most of the artist's work for them.
Yeah.
Please
Get on
don't
it,
send us
drawers.
this.
No, send it. Okay, the song continues. Oh yeah, we meet again. It's like we never left. Time in between was just a dream. I think this guy's having multiple repeated rendezvous in some secret cove where at best he's jaying off a dolphin, but I think we know what's really going on.
Dolphins jaying him off.
Yeah, that would be something to see. I'm not saying it should happen, but I'll tell you what, you don't expect it, that's for sure.
I apologize for everything I've said in this episode. It's horrible.
been in poor taste.
It has. But this song is so stupid. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyway, time in between was just a dream. Did we leave this place? This crazy fog surrounds me. You wrap your legs around me. Now here, maybe it's not a dolphin. Maybe he's going back to just dolphin play or a lady that sounds like a dolphin.
That's fair. I hear legs, but what I'm really hearing is fins. I'm hearing fins.
Maybe it's switching to the dolphin Dolphin's point of view, okay? Because he says, why did we leave this place? This crazy fog surrounds me. So he's talking about how anytime they're not together, it doesn't even feel real. And then the Dolphin says, you wrap your legs around me. All I can do to try and breathe, let me breathe so we can go together. So he's so into it. He's grabbed this dolphin and now it's struggling. It can barely get up to get a breath.
Boy, Tim, in the scenario we were talking about previously, the dolphin was into it. This is not great.
Well, I think it is. I think he is. He's just saying, listen, we got to be smart about this. We're both drowned.
And the other guy's just like, I don't care. I will drown in this ecstasy. And he's like, no, bitch, water. We'll drown in water.
Yeah, I wasn't being sexy. We're gonna die.
Life is like a shooting star. This is the real trainy part. Doesn't matter who you are. If you only run for cover, it's just a wasted time. I think this is this guy coming to grips with his dolphinphilia.
That's fair.
He's not gonna hide anymore. He's a dolphin fucker, or excuse me, dolphin lover, and he wants everybody to know.
Yeah, the post-chorus here feels like it's from a completely different song. We're lost till we are found. This phoenix rises up from the ground, and all these wars are over, singing la da 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 da. Come to me, come to me, come to me.
Internal wars, Tim. He's trying to figure out why he was never aroused by women or men. He was like, oh man, I'm just not aroused by these women.
They're just not smooth enough. They're like, he needs it to be slipperier.
They're so dry and appendage filled.
Jesus.
Where's your blowhole?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, we get a bunch of choruses and post-choruses after that, and that's basically it.
Yeah, chorus, post-chorus, chorus, outro, aka chorus.
Lead singer Ed, his explanation for this, he said, it's about things getting real quiet enough so that one maybe hears something like the Dolphins Cry, which isn't a great explanation for anything.
I think he's about a guy fucking dolphins.
Yeah, well, Ed's an idiot, so.
We'll go with my thing.
Yep.
That brings us to the music video, and my goodness, it's mostly stupid, but I really want to focus on Ed.
Yeah, this music video could not have been made in any year other than 99. The whole thing looks like they were filming on a backlot used for The Matrix. He's wearing one of those shitty Matrix sweaters. His head is shaved like Neo or possibly Fight Club. I mean, definitely Fight Club, but there's like that weird green filter that every movie had at that point. It kind of makes everything feel like it's being filmed in a Bedford Avenue subway station public restroom circa 1999. It's gross.
Yeah, it's, is it green? For some reason I thought it was more of a blue tint, but it's probably green. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
And I want to be fair, it's 1999. However, this is the year of the Matrix. And more importantly, if you're going to film a concept, you got to commit to a concept you can film. Unless you're ICP, in which case the shittier the better. If you don't have the money to make it look good, then you just need to play on a stage and film it.
Well, for the amount of money that they spent filming this, they could have bought a handheld video camera and a dolphin.
And made it cry.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? There's a fairly famous Led Zeppelin poster that's just a lady banging a shark.
Oh, God.
And of course, obviously it's not a real shark because they don't exist. But yeah.
Well, there was the rumor that they put a shark in a lady. Maybe they was playing on that.
I guess, yeah.
I would not say she's banging the shark. At best, the shark's banging her.
He is the top, sure.
That's not what I mean.
No, in the picture, I've seen this poster.
Stop talking about it.
I could do with less eye contact from Ed. I could do with less of a leering smile as he stares directly into my soul.
He's a Cheshire cat, except we all know what you're up to, sir.
Yeah.
The dance moves, Tim. So they're in an alleyway. We haven't really even painted the picture. They're in an alleyway, they're performing, and people are sort of milling about in the alleyway, gathering a bit to watch this band play this silly song, and we see water beginning to filter down through the alleyway, and it's obvious that slowly more and more water is starting to come down the alley before it turns into a large deluge, nay, a tidal wave down an alley, and everybody's forced to run, but not Ed and the band. They stand firm and face it, not once, but twice. That's the general premise. But what we need to talk about, Tim, is this guy and his, I'm going to call them dance moves. I was trying to figure out what his gyrations remind remind me of, and the best I've come up with, he might be doing his own thing, but the closest I could do is Jim Carrey's Riddler.
That's perfect. That's exactly what he's doing. It's
like there's a lot of hips, there's a lot of shoulders.
It's like that if his head is really itchy, because
because there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
If it's really itchy, he's not allowed to scratch it.
Yes, he can put his hands on it, but he's not allowed to use those nails.
Exactly. You can just hold it in grief, like, oh, it's so itchy, I'm right there.
Yeah. But like there's a lot of like pointing to the sky. There's
spirit fingers.
Absolutely. There's waving people out with the come to me gesture.
Oh, he's given a lot of people the old come hither. I don't know if it was the camera, because the camera kind of switches routinely from eye level and then from above so that he can kind of gyrate upwards at the camera. Was it me, or was he constantly kind of doing lunges? Or was that just a switching of perspectives? I feel like he was down to the ground and back up and down to the ground. And was that me?
I think what's happening is they're switching perspectives, but they're not making sure that when they switch perspectives, he's in the same stance that he was the last time you saw him.
There it is. Yeah, it's a lot of sloppy cuts.
Yes, it's poor continuity in the scene.
Okay, there it is. Yeah, and the general premise doesn't even make sense. If you listened to the lyrics, there's no dolphins. Like I said, they're a giant tidal wave comes, everybody runs, they get knocked over, the band even gets knocked down, but they get up again and they continue to play. And then the second wave comes and the same thing happens again. It's even bigger than the first, but they get back up and they keep playing, and this time they're soaking wet. And there's more spirit fingers and gyrating. And like it's Jim Carrey's Riddler with like I was trying to think of like, you look at him and he's got a hit rock and roll band. By all accounts, he should be at least sort of a cool guy, but he's got like a real David Schwimmer vibe.
He's got a Dave Matthews vibe.
Oh, that feels darker, Tim.
Yeah.
You know, that's right. Oh, I get it. I get it.
He's going to stare into your soul and talk about something, and you're going to say, that has the cadence of poetry, but I'm pretty sure you just want to have sex with a dolphin and pour feces on riverboat passengers.
The whole song, though, he's so smiley. It's like he's the band leader in a big band, like the conductor of a swing band.
Sure, but it's a very leering smile, right? It's that kind of thing, like his head is tilted down just a little bit too far, so he just looks like some sort of demon.
He's always looking up over if he had glasses, he'd be looking up over the rims of the tops of the rims.
Yeah.
But again, he's not an intimidating man. He's a sexually aggressive man.
He's sort of intimidating, like I think you, Tim, could easily take him. However,
that's a fair fight.
Yeah, that guy's got lots of
chloroform.
He's planned in advance for this. He knew you were going to try.
He's really Jason Bourne'd it.
Yes, but the book Jason Bourne, not the movie one.
Right, it's a different thing. Anywho, let's see. We talked about the hand waving. We talked about the hip gyrations. Oh, we didn't talk about that water. Did we mention that water is full CGI and it's a lot more Phantom Menace than it is Matrix? Like, this is the worst CG water you've ever seen.
Yep. And it doesn't need to be. Just get some water. No. Pour some water.
Or just don't do it. This song isn't about water.
No, it's about dolphins.
Fucking dolphins.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Tim, how'd this thing do?
Pretty well. This was a #1 single in Canada and on the Islandski Listen Top 40 in Iceland. It was and also hit #1 on the US rock and metal charts, but it only made it to number 78 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was number 7 on the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Flanders, number 48 in New Zealand, number 65 in Scotland, and either number 10 or number 13 in the Dutch, depending on which of their singles charts you believe. Personally, for me, I go with the Dutch Top 40, so this was a number 13 single in the Dutch. The album this song was on was certified platinum, so it sold at least 1 million copies, but the band has sold about 20 million total albums worldwide. The vast majority of those are Throwing Copper.
Wow, that's ridiculous. What did people think of it?
Well, we have 22 total reviews on Amazon, 4.5 out of 5 stars on average, 80% 5-star, 7% 1-star. First one here is by Stella Carrier called Memorable Rock Song. This is from 2018. I actually first heard of this catchy alternative rock song that is the Dolphins Cry album version by Live via local radio and or television around the time I was somewhere around 18 and or 19 years old. The lyrics and guitars in this Dolphins Cry song flow harmoniously together. I am guessing the Dolphins Cry to be some type of racy love song. I might check online by tomorrow to see if I am correct. Taking a wild guess from the lyrics, love will lead us. I admit that this song spontaneously and unexpectedly came up in my memory after I heard another song by Live, 5 out of 5 stars.
Well, she better be careful what she Googles or she's going to learn about John Luley. Don't Google Mr. Hands. Don't Google Shaved Bears. Don't Google Dolphin Love.
Absolutely. Well, I have a couple from YouTube here. The first one is from Matt Devlin. He wrote, 20 years. The fucking song has been stuck in my head for 20 goddamn years, and I finally found it. It's over. I can finally rest now.
I like him.
Jeff J said, one of the best songs ever. The Rose Garden of Trust sounds like the best and last place I'd ever want to be. That guy just wants to have sex.
I don't think he knows what it is.
Nope. Skylar said, my dad's favorite song. We played it for his funeral, and it still makes me tear up when I hear it.
Tim, don't do that. Don't put those in there.
Think about this, because, okay, that's tragic. It's very sad. I'm sorry that Skylar's dad died. I'm sorry that they played this song at the funeral. But just think about this, other Tim. Your father, Fred, dies. You're going through his yellow shoebox of shame and possible crimes that we all keep in our closet, and you come across his last wish. Fred wants you to play Live's The Dolphins Cry at his funeral. He wants to play it loud. This was his favorite song. That happened to somebody. That happened to Skylar.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Skylar.
Yeah, she or possibly he had a moment in his or possibly her life where she had to reckon with simultaneously, my father is dead and my father wants me to play Live's The Dolphins Cry, a song that best case scenario is about kind of being into dolphins or being into pretending to be dolphins.
And I can't find it on iTunes. I keep Googling Live.
Yeah.
And it's not coming up. What else you got, Tim?
Last one here. This is by Iron Light from 2 years ago, who said, I'm going through a spiritual awakening, and this song hits so deep to the depths of my being. I get chills and surges of energy up and down my body. These guys kick ass. I haven't heard this in 15 years. I love the 90s. These guys are spiritual warrior poets.
Gross.
Yeah, that guy also wants to bang dolphins.
I feel like that's the one review that Ed would read and be like, no, that's not what we're doing. This guy's liking us wrong. We have a lot of listeners that like us wrong.
Yeah, you know who you are. No, you're the ones that don't know who you are.
Right. Most of you get it. Some of you you don't at all get it.
And you never will.
How do you not get it? Get it.
Tim.
I'm sorry.
Tim, who's this for?
Oh, people who liked throwing copper but forgot Live was a band. How many did this one sell in America? Do you remember?
The album is platinum, so at least a million.
At least
copies.
a million. This is for a million suckers that think maybe this will be like throwing copper.
Yeah.
Even throwing copper, though, man, I don't waste your time. I've listened to it pretty recently. It's fine.
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Tim. Is there anything we haven't said about this?
Nope.
All right. Then let's tee it up. I can't imagine that I don't know the answer, but let's do it out of habit. Do you hate this song?
I do. Tim, I do hate this song. What about you?
How do you live like this?
Being named Tim? Is that?
Yes. Just stop it. You don't have to call me that.
No, I don't.
I reject it. Tim, I am appreciating the classic Nicolas Cage, John Travolta film Face Off on a level that I never did before. I am losing my identity.
Yeah, you are becoming one in the Tim.
I'm suddenly feeling an odd kinship to Timothy Oliphant. What's that?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's actually comes real early on. It's his jawline, it's his cowboy hat and Justified, and it's the name. It's the name.
Tim,
the problem with Timothy Oliphant is you have to ignore a wide body of his work. It's just not good. But you got to support him. You know, you got to pay for it. You don't have to watch it.
I don't want to freak you out, man.
Same thing with Tim McGraw. It's just not that good, but you have to buy it.
I haven't gotten to that phase, but take a look at my feet. What's on my feet, Tim? What am I wearing?
Boots?
Yeah, I didn't put boots on when I got up today.
No.
At some point between 9 a.m. and this moment, cowboy boots have appeared on my feet, and I have learned I'm a Tim.
Yeah, those are unrelated. The Cowboys will take a Garrett. The Tims won't take a Garrett.
Well, okay, so I am both relieved and enraged to learn that I am not part of some Stephen King-like mystical transformation. So that's a win. Follow-up, though, and the enraged part, so, gird yourself. Who put these shoes on my feet?
I did.
Okay, you know what? Not the first time, not the last. I can move past it. Oh, that was, I was really nervous there. I have never been more happy to learn that you were augmenting my feet. Okay, Tim, that brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first or would you like me to?
I would like me to go first.
Of course you would.
This is from Kyle, and it's kind of a long one. It's entitled Episode 2 Hate Mail for You.
Oh, right. Okay, it's Episode 2.
Right.
Hate Mail.
This is the Sublime self-titled album.
Okie dokie, people. Strap in. It's worth it.
Dear gentlemen, you can have your opinions. That's cool. They can be dog shit. But your researching and fact-checking and ability to interpret information is pretty inexcusable. Now, I wish I had the time to go over your Sublime self-titled show line for line, but I don't. Personally, I love Sublime. The self-titled is my least favorite. It was mixed after Brad had passed, and they made it all polished and did lots of things I don't think Brad would have approved. When you're talking about the cover art being a cartoon, what are you talking about? It's literally a photo of the lead singer's back. You admit to knowing the lead singer Bradley has that tattoo on his back. You talk about it being CGI. I googled to see if the album had been re-released with a different cover, but no. It's still just a photo. If you could respond to anything, could you answer how two people looking at a photo are so confused that they think it's a cartoon? I'm obviously not going to go back and listen to this episode. That's a waste of time, and I don't care.
Right.
But sure. I do remember that conversation. Our confusion was because the back on the cover is less flabby, it's less acneed, it's less gross than Mr. Right. Beano.
It looked like a stunt back. I'm pretty sure we said stunt back.
Yeah, but it's also bad CGI smooth. It looks like a Sims character back, and if you look at
somebody airbrushed it. That's all we were saying.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you look at the hair, it's painted on.
Yeah, and if you look at the tattoo, you're like, it doesn't look like it's on the skin. Obviously, somebody just photoshopped a picture of the guy, and we were, again, being purposely a little obtuse. But, we're not here to defend ourselves. We don't care.
Yep.
We don't care. Let's keep going.
Every media description from the beginning of the time has referred to the band as being a genre-melting rock/ska/pun/reggae/hip-hop band. You compare him to Vanilla Ice because he grew up middle class, maybe even upper middle class. That's absurd. You've never heard of somebody's life changing drastically in high school? I mean, you get hooked on heroin, your life and what you know and what you're going to sing and rap about is not going to have anything to do with your childhood with your parents before you were a teen. Also,
yeah, but a heroin addiction isn't the same as an island living addiction.
Yeah, that's true. And we did not take any heroin cred from Beano. That guy loved heroin.
Oh, absolutely. When he got truly addicted to something, we acknowledged it.
Yep. He goes on, cultural appropriation. First off, Sublime is basically a cover band. Their first album of 20 songs, like 17 are essentially covers. Now, keep in mind, he's defending Sublime here. This is...
he's pro Sublime, which these are all things I think we said. Again, I don't want to defend it. This guy's probably right.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands what we do on the show.
Yep. They played live with some of their biggest influences and bands they were famous for covering, like HR from Bad Brains, Bad Religion, etc. Their first album's last track is a thank you song to all their influences. Sublime wanted to turn people on to the music that they enjoyed and play it with putting their own twist on it. Fans love his voice and find it to have tons of soul other artists would kill for. This was the only band or album we've ever discussed where we actually had a separate segment, a separate section detailing the covers and stolen material. Right. I'm aware that this is a cover band that can't really write their own songs.
Right. That was kind of one of the things that we pointed out.
Yes.
Which, again, everything he just said, I don't necessarily disagree with. Obviously, millions of people love Sublime. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue whether or not his voice is soulful. I think it sounds like shit. But that's, again, opinions. I don't care. Okay. Again, I'll even say he's right, but I'm just surprised he cared enough to write all this.
Go to a Sublime cover band show. You'll find the audience is not made up of whatever insulting description you gave of low-life degenerate dirtbags. I'm not going to a Sublime cover band show. Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what? I've largely been on this guy's side most of the time. I'm not here to defend us, Tim. But you go to a Sublime cover band show, you're going to see some scumbags.
Yes.
You better goddamn believe it.
Yeah. If the band itself is no better than a cover band, why would I go to a cover band show of the cover band? Like, what's happening? This is some sort of Russian
Inception.
nesting doll. Yeah. Anyway, you can probably tell I only listened to the first 20 minutes. When you couldn't tell if something is a photo or a cartoon, I realized I was either being trolled or you both have been dropped on your head. I spent way more than 20 minutes reading and responding to this, Kyle.
Wait, you only listened to the first 20 minutes? God, Tim, this took like an hour.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Try listening to everything under the sun. Personally, I love Brad's voice and could listen to him sing just about anything. I was interested in hearing a good faith argument why you didn't like the album. Is the actual point of the show to troll people that like an album? Because if I just didn't listen long enough to figure that out, bravo. First of all, everything under the sun is 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 8 seconds long, plus a DVD. Not doing that. Also, here's the thing. I'm fairly sure that in episode 2, we were still having good faith arguments about why we didn't like things, not just talking incessantly about werewolves and Terminators and time travel and rose gardens of trust. There's a whole song by song that you didn't get to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that used to be the concept of the show, is giving honest reasons we didn't like an album, plus jokes.
Yeah, but that was not fun.
Yeah. No, this is better. It's less work, too.
And people like it way more.
Maybe. Haven't done a poll.
There's ways to tell.
Oh,
people
okay.
like this more.
All right. Some sort of behavioral economics study you're doing, I guess. Anyway,
Right.
Kyle End sincerely would like to smack you both, Kyle. Just a word of warning. Garrett keeps excuse me. I apologize. I slipped up there. Tim keeps himself very well clothed around the house for whatever reason. So I cannot evaluate everything fully, but based on his elbows to his fingertips, the guy's a goddamn chimpanzee. Don't smack him. Like, I've seen him open tin cans without a can opener. I've seen him pull over to the side of the road and rip a bumper off his own car because, and I'm quoting here, something was rattling.
It was rattling. I fixed it.
Yeah, because you put the
That did
bumper
happen.
in the
God,
back
we just
seat.
pulled right over and I took care of it.
Yeah. Anyway, so don't hit. I mean, you could probably get away with smacking me. Don't smack Garrett. The guy's terrifying. He's well practiced in his slaps.
That's true. But I'm going to come with a different message. I'm coming with nothing but peace and love. Yeah, like I said, 90% of what you wrote is probably true. We're having some fun, some goofs. Tim, you raise a good point though. At that stage, episode 2, we were much more businessy, way more objective, way less vampires.
Yeah, too few vampires.
Oh yeah, no, we classed it up immediately, at least after episode 100. So, man, I'm sorry. Listen to more.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, so first of all, just a general tip, maybe listen to something that you're not super emotionally invested in.
Yes. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Some people really like it when we talk about shit they love. In fact, most people seem to, but some people really hate it. For those people, do all the other ones we talk about that are shit.
Yes, but download the ones you like. You don't have to listen to it, but download them.
But listen to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, Garrett, excuse me. Damn it. Tim, do you have an email?
Of course. What do you mean, do I? Part of the show, stupid.
You don't have to get mean just because I won.
I do. Yeah, my email's from Aaron. In keeping with the spirit of the show, as you requested, Tim, I only ever read the first sentence of an email.
I begged you to read the whole thing.
Well, I will not. And you'll see immediately why I picked it. The email begins, Dear Timbo and the other guy, please forgive the potentially scattered nature of this missive. I am quite high whilst composing it. Don't worry, it's legal here. Hey, those letters to Penthouse were all bullshit, right? So it was a bunch of dudes jerking off to each other's creative writing workshop? Oh, that's not really the point. I had something for this part, but I lost it. Anyway, I have a true and truly delightful Goo Goo Dolls story for you. Goo Goo Dolls. We haven't done them, right, Tim?
No.
We should. Gino, Tim, Adam, I don't know why we keep paying him. Email continues. Around 5 years ago, my wife ran into Johnny Resnick. I think that's his name. Anyway, the Goo Goo Dolls singer dude. She sees him as he's getting up to leave and starts to freak out. She says to her girlfriends, oh my God, do you know who that is? I have to go say hi. Then she's up and rushing towards him before any of her friends figure out what the hell just happened. She catches up with him, waiting for an Uber, and starts gushing about how much she loves his music, thinks he's an all-time great artist, and all this other shit. As his car pulls scrolls up, she says, oh, one last thing. Can you sign this for me, Mr. Bon Jovi? As the light goes out of his eyes in slow motion, you can, this is his description, if you look closely, you can see the second his heart rips in half, that kind of moment. Fuck, I need a Treehouse of Horror marathon. Boy, it really is high. I love those. My Twitter is @CursedFrogert37 because of the mysterious Frogert shop in Treehouse episode, I want to say 3? What is he talking about? Okay, back to Mr. Bon Jovi, or should I say non-Jovi, am I right? He mumbled something she didn't quite hear and disappeared into the car. The motherfucker took the pen and napkin too. What a dick move. Keep up the average to slightly above average work, fellas. I tried to leave a 5-star iTunes review, but that bitch is way too complicated, so I quit. Give me your address and I'll mail you 5 stars. I got you. Longtime listener, first-time caller, Aaron in Seattle.
Just a terrible email.
I love it. I like that fucking Johnny Resnick or whatever his name is got Jovied. Ooh, fun game.
Yes.
Listeners.
Yes.
Go up to, well, ooh, Tim, we gotta wait on this one. Okay, when the world returns to normal and approaching a stranger isn't going to end with getting bear maced, go up to strangers and request their autograph. And then as they go to do it, because they will, because people are just shameless bastards, say, I love you, Mr. Bon Jovi. I don't care if it's a lady. I don't care if they look absolutely nothing like Bon Jovi. I prefer it. I want to see it. Or you can just tell us the tale, but I won't know if you actually did it. Record yourself. Just an audio recording. Send it into the show. We'll play it on a Prepisode or not if you don't want to get in trouble with whoever you Jovied. But start Jovying people.
Oh, fun tip for our adult listeners. Once you're an adult, getting in trouble, not a thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, you can totally do whatever you want. Tim, I just occasionally will buy a wedding cake, keep it, and just eat it over the course of 3 weeks because I can.
Yeah.
I get very sick.
Yeah. I think it's because you eat that plastic couple on top.
Those are icing.
No, they're not.
Couples.
No, they're not. Again, this is why you don't want to fight Garrett, okay? Don't smack him because he's just eating plastic.
It's really hard icing. It's molded icing.
I've seen him, like, again, his hands are very tough, but I've seen him draw blood on his own fingers because he's eating French fries too fast. Yeah.
That did happen. It's the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
glad you were there for
repeatedly.
it. Yeah, I did it several times. I was just eating French fries too quickly and just bit the tips of my fingers.
Bitch tips.
Bit my tips. B to the T. Okay, Tim, that brings us to music news of the weird.
Music news of the weird.
Would you like to go first or would you like me to?
I would like to go first.
Alrighty.
Every single one of our listeners emailed or DM'd us to tell us this news this week.
Yes.
Phil Spector's dead.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, it's COVID's fault, I guess. COVID and the Tim Richardson, who was formerly Garrett Harvey, 70-30 split on the responsibility there. Anywho, Fillard allegedly...
What did I do?
You did the episode about him.
What, do you think it morally crushed him?
Yeah, it broke his spirit.
You're welcome, America. That man was a monster.
Anywho, Fillard allegedly was diagnosed with COVID 4 weeks ago, went to the hospital, back to prison, then rushed to the hospital where he died this Saturday before we are recording this. One of our listeners, actually, Mick or Astro Mick on Instagram, probably a fake name, posed an interesting question, though. What wig do you think he got buried in?
Oh, afro, for sure.
Yeah, it's giant electroshock wig.
Yeah, and it's just sticking out the sides and top.
Yeah, all right. Asked and
Tim,
answered.
I want to ask you something. This has been bothering me. Ever since you, out of nowhere, started talking about my funeral and the various arrangements thereof that you've been making, which, gotta say, troubling. Stop saying it like you're doing me a favor. I want you to promise me something, and it's going to sound insane, and you're going to say, of course, but I'm going to need to hear the words. If I die before you, and I'm, let's say, cremated, for whatever reason, I need you to promise me not to eat the ashes.
What if you are...
That's a quick no problem. That's a quick no problem.
Here's
anything
the thing.
else
Here's the
is
thing.
a
If you're
problem.
cremated after death, but what if you die in a fire and are...
That's cooking. You're asking to cook me. I will not agree to being cooked.
Oh, I have purchased the commercial rights for the Dolphins Cry, though.
What does that mean?
For your funeral.
Oh, great. What a terrible way to respect my life.
Yep. What news do you have for us, Tim?
Well, Tim, as you may know, it is that time of every president's life where they begin to pardon all of the monsters and friends in the upper echelons of our society for all of their crimes and guilt because they can. And that's a thing they do, and there's no consequences for it.
Yep. More this time, though.
Well, sure, of course.
Crazy.
Well, that brings me to my first news story. Apparently, this is not official. This is a Why I Hate This Album exclusive. This has not been formally announced. You're hearing it first here, although we record a little in advance, so it's probably been announced. Anyway, Dwayne Michael Carter, a.k.a. Lil Wayne, pleaded guilty in December 2020 to illegally possessing a loaded, gold-plated, .45 caliber handgun while traveling to South Florida on a private plane in December 2019. We've all been there. Well, Wayne then met with Trump in Florida in October 2020 and tweeted a photo of the meeting. And since then, an attorney for Carter has declined to comment as to what the conversation was about, aside from getting a photo with Mr. Carter prior to the election. Rumor has it, up on the Hill as well as in the streets, Lowell will be expecting to be one of the 100+ individuals on that final pardon list here as we approach the final 23 hours of this presidency. And Tim, I gotta say, why?
Why not? He's by far the least obnoxious and terrible person that would be. Oh no, I see what you're saying. Too morally upstanding.
Exactly. He's not performed a horrific enough crime or blatant enough.
Perhaps
he at least pleaded guilty.
Well, here's the thing: Trump really loves a good dictator, and there's nothing more dictator-like than having a gold-plated gun.
Now, that's very true.
So perhaps
if you want to say I'm a special kind of obnoxious asshole, gold plate that gun.
Absolutely. Perhaps Mr. Trump believes Lowell to be some sort of dictator of Miami.
Oh, he could. Now, I want to make a small caveat there. If your name's Castor Troy and you're being played by Nicolas Cage, you better believe you can have some gold-plated guns. But that's it.
Well, now I need to come up with a different centerpiece for your funeral.
Dolphins Cry with inlaid gold-plated guns.
Yes, while
my casket.
While I weep and eat you.
Because you cooked me. No one will let you eat me, even if I sign off on it.
Track number 2. Wait, what?
That's not what we're doing. You're not getting out of this. Hey, wait, that reminds me. You never gave me a firm no problem on that not eating my ashes business.
Well, I'm not going to eat ashes, no.
Okay, so as long as I'm not cooked to perfection, I'm safe from you.
As long as you're not ashes. Wait, I don't know. We'll get back to it. Let's circle back around.
All right, Tim, what else you got?
In our ongoing and almost weekly coverage of Jello Biafra is angry about his former band Dead Kennedys' lack of punkness vis-a-vis Mitt Romney.
You've lost me. Please speak in English.
The band broke up in 1986, the Dead Kennedys, and the name was then awarded to the rest of the band. Jello Biafra has gone on to do a bunch of other projects, but essentially they are the Beach Boys to his Brian Wilson, I guess, because they became the Jello Biafra-less band in 2001 with a series of other singers. Currently, it's a guy named Skip. But after the Capitol was invaded by Nazi punks who wouldn't be going to jail if they had just fucked off, the band's official Twitter posted, "Thank you at Senator Romney and at Evan McMullen. Mitt Romney cares about the USA." That was January 7th. And then today, at Lindsey Graham SC is trying to do the right thing. Enough is enough. And also January 7th, 2021. That's the Dead Kennedys.
What?
The Dead Kennedys are tweeting in support of Mitt Romney and Lindsey Graham, and Mr. Biafra was not amused.
What an odd story. That is truly music news of the weird. So I'm even more confused that I didn't really get the impression that Mitt and Lindsay were on the same page.
Oh, I think that after a bunch of crazy people stormed into the Capitol and could have murdered them had they found them, allegedly. Do we have to say? I think we'll just, let's just
screaming, let's kill them.
Yeah, let's just throw allegedly on there just to be safe. I think that kind of changed his mind on whether or not we should overthrow the government.
Okay.
Anyway, Tim, do you have more news?
I hate everything about the way you said that. Yes, I have more news. I'm not a Tim. I'm a man. Tim, there's a new documentary out on the streets. The trailer just came out, and I got to tell you, in no small way will benefit from our show. That documentary is about frontman of System of a Down's Serge Tarkanian.
Okay, let me name it. Let me title it.
Please do.
I'm just spitballing here.
Sure, hit me.
Truth to Power.
That is what it is titled.
Oh, 2 points.
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Ah, that's no fun. Thank you for wasting our time. It will be released February 19th via Oscilloscope Laboratories with unique and exclusive access to the man behind the music, the award-winning director, writer, producer, Garen Hovhannissian. There it is. Garen Hovhannissian captures both intimate and historic public moments, including Serge's role in inspiring the massive peaceful protests of 2018's Velvet Revolution in his native Armenia, which successfully outed an oligarch regime. So, Tim, I watched the trailer. Have you seen this trailer?
Nope.
It is a combination of things I could not care less about and things that I find fascinating. That is to say, half of it is concert footage of Sode. The other half of it is this dude in the streets with the Velvet Revolution overthrowing an oligarchy regime. It's pretty fucking cool.
Huh, I'm into that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can watch it though.
I feel like if he put a robe on, he would look kind of Rasputin-y.
Yes, he's got a bit of a Rasputin thing. He's got a little bit of the head of Twitter thing, a little bit of a Mel Gibson thing.
Oh, he does have a Mel Gibson thing, which is to say he's got a little bit of an Osama bin Laden thing, because those guys have the same beard.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to go there, but hey, we're edgy this week. We're talking about fucking dolphins.
Nope.
No, you are. Sorry.
Nope. We're talking about a guy who may or may not fuck dolphins. We are not talking about the act itself.
That's right. The way you're bathed in light. Sorry.
And really, I wouldn't even say fucking. I would say, I mean, let's think of how
molesting?
No. I would say maybe being laid by God down into that dolphin's rose garden of trust. You know, I heard you practicing that in the shower, over the shower.
No, I was choking. I got conditioner in my throat. I was saying, Tim! It was your one chance to Heimlich me while nude. I had to slowly fill my throat with water and dilute the clog of conditioner. That's why we rinse out the nozzle when we're done, Tim. Straight down my windpipe.
Everything about that checks out.
Choking to death in the shower. I needed a good friend to come Heimlich me nude.
Well, now I'm deeply regretful.
Yeah, there's one man on the planet weirdly suited for that job. Although it would have been odd when you were just like, wait, and then you lit a candle and or changed.
Well, I want to be in my kimono. That's how I
found the worst
it.
thing. You found the worst thing. Yeah, you come back to find me lying dead on the ground. Anywho, what else you got, Timmy?
Well, Kanye West, or K-Way, as Tim prefers to call him, continues to be a billionaire and also kind of a cheap dick, allegedly. The Sunday Service Choir, the house band for his cult, allegedly, is suing him for over $1 million in unpaid wages. This stems from the Hollywood Bowl thing, where K-Way had a bunch of last-minute diva-type changes requiring a ton of overtime. And yeah, why should he have to pay for overtime, if you think about it?
He's a genius.
Right, but Live Nation and the Rapist were hit with a $1 million lawsuit for, and I'm quoting here, failure to provide pay stubs and failure to pay minimum wage and overtime.
Wow.
Guy sucks.
Yeah, we all knew that.
Yep, and he's getting divorced.
Oh yeah, that is the rumor on the street, isn't it? Hard to imagine that's not true.
Yeah, what else you got, Timmy?
I don't like this. Well, Tim, do you remember when the Flaming Lips did the Bubble concert recently?
Yes.
Well, that went so well that they learned a little bit and decided, we can do this pretty effectively. So the Flaming Lips are going to go ahead with more Bubble shows. They are taking the safety of their fans insanely seriously, so they won't be touring with the show. They'll be stationary in Oklahoma City, and you can go to one of 3 shows, wherein parties of up to 3 individuals will be sealed into a bubble, very similar, in fact, identical to the one that Wayne Cohen used to run around on top of audiences in, and will also be performing in, as will each of the band members be performing in, and you will be in one of a sanitized, air-filled plastic bubble, one of 100 bubbles. So there'll be people going around with leaf blowers, and should you find your bubble getting excessively warm or moist, they'll come through and freshen it up with a zipper that you can unzip from the inside.
Disgusting. So there's 3 people in this bubble together.
Up to 3. You can be in alone, you can be in with a good friend or roommate, or you can add a third person that will make it hot and sweaty. Like a Sean.
Well, I like a Gino.
Sure, like a Gino, like a Brad. Tim, we gotta get Brad back.
Yeah, I know. We need to call that college program.
I don't know if he ever got there.
We dropped him off.
Oh, sure, I know he got there. I didn't see him literally sit down in the dorm room, so
That's
it's Brad,
fair.
man.
Yeah, we
I
should
mean,
have
it's
put
obvious.
some sort of tracker in him.
You know, I thought about chipping him, and I was like, no, that's crazy. You can't put, certainly unbeknownst, because he would not have agreed to it, but you can't just put a geo-tracker in a human. We have lines. In hindsight, biggest mistake I've ever made.
I think we do like an ear tag.
Well, now we have RFIDs in all of the interns. Tim, the interns. Oh my God. Folks, this is wildly late in the game, but I mean, I suppose we ought to let you know we went through the trouble. That is to say, they did. Neither Tim nor I dressed up this week to celebrate live. Instead, we had the interns do it to each other. So they all shaved each other's heads, and they've been walking around in black cable knit sweaters and leather pants all week. They look great.
They look
but we didn't talk about it at
terrifying.
all.
Yeah,
Well, sure.
I mean, again, I apologize for the last 2 weeks and all the Fight Club references, but it is a real House on Paper Street vibe in here.
Oh, sure. We got holes in the walls. Everybody's talking about snowflakes, eyeballing everyone. I mean, there's a lot of spirit fingers and hip gyration, so I'm less concerned.
I'm
But
more
sure,
concerned.
I do a lot of things hip first, so I'm used to this communication style.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry. I just felt like we had to mention it. The poor bastards shaved all their heads. Some of them, Tim, I don't think it's coming back.
No, there's a lot of them that just found out that they're bald.
Poor Stacy. Okay, what else you got?
I think that's it for me.
All right, I'll throw one more in, see if we want to keep it. Recently, a clip from 1993 has surfaced of, that time Lane Staley fought a Nazi at an Alice in Chains concert. In the clip, you see Alice in Chains playing in Stockholm, Sweden in 1993 during the promotional cycle for Dirt. During that performance, Staley sees a man making the Nazi hand gesture in the audience and trying to attack another fan in the mosh pit. Shortly after concluding their performance of It Ain't Like That, Staley invites the Nazi on stage and even helps him to get up there. And as soon as the dude gets up, he is greeted in the face with a smack by Staley's right hand and then a punch in the face. The dude is then pushed off the stage and security ejects him. Staley grabs the mic and yells out, "Fucking Nazis die." And, the show just goes on from there. Very strange. But you can find that on YouTube, or maybe we posted it on the social medias if we remembered. Who knows? Tim, that brings us to my favorite part of the Prepisode, where we announce what album are we going to be talking about 1 week from today. So lay it on me, friend. What are we in for?
We are going to be listening to, and maybe the most requested thing we've ever had on this show, and something that I have no idea what it is. No idea. I don't know. I think the band is 1,000 gecs and the album is 100 gecs, or possibly vice versa.
I think it's the other way around.
Okay, whatever. 100 or 1,000 gecs, one way or the other.
You're going to get all the gecs. That's the important part. You're going to get every gec. We're going to do it. I know a scant bit about it. I've done a little bit of research prior to this because people keep requesting it. I don't have a lot of predictions on a whole. I'm going to predict you're not the biggest fan, or you're the hugest fan. This might Suburban Kids you.
I can't imagine that's going to be the case. It's
No.
called 100 or possibly 1,000 gecs.
Sure. Well, we haven't defined a gec.
True.
God, I feel so unhip. I don't know. All right, so I guess our predictions are we have none. I have one. Tim's not going to like this.
I can also predict that.
It's also very short, I believe. 10 songs in like 30 minutes.
I like that.
Yeah, that's exciting. That brings us to the end of the show, where we ask, if you can, please rate, review, subscribe, ideally on the old Apple podcast application. If not, wherever you're listening. If you can't do that, then let somebody know to listen. Get another person hooked on this craziness. You can also reach out to us. You can go to hatepod.com and you get every episode in every format you could ever possibly want. You can also click on contact us in the upper left-hand corner and write us a little message. We want to hear from you. Tell us your suggestions, your ideas, your theories, what you like, what you don't like. Draw us pictures. Record yourself calling other people Bon Jovi people. Send us your Jovies. Tell us your funny or embarrassing stories surrounding these songs or albums. We want to hear about it. You can also email us directly at hatepodmail@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Twitter at albumhatepod, on Instagram at hatepod, hey, facebook.com/hatepod. But come on, who's on Facebook? What are you, 80? Are you writing reviews on Amazon? I'm 50 and I use Facebook. I think that's about it. I guess we got a Discord server. There's subreddits out there. The point is, if you want to talk to us, about us, through us, in in us a little bit, you can do that. There's a lot of ways. Figure it out. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Timothy Richardson.
We have all been Timothy Richardson, and on May 7th, 2007, other Tim sent me the following email sans context. Dear Sir, I challenge you to a bout of fisticuffs. To the winner, a bushel of the finest peaches to come from Mrs. Applebottom's spring harvest. The loser must convince Yancey, the schoolmarm's troubled nephew, to bathe. I heard the last man put to the task was covered in a combination of human and goose feces. To this day, no one knows where the goose came from or where it went. The scuffle shall last 3 14-minute rounds. In the event that neither party should emerge the victor from knockout, 4 judges will tally the score. In the event of a tie, the winner will be determined by a Dutch shuffle, in which each participant covers their head in marmalade and a giraffe is brought in. The participant whose head the giraffe licks will be the winner. Make of that what you will.
I remember that. You never accepted or declined.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. Well, I joined the Navy. I got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. I try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is the genius got it wrong. It's a lobster murder sex thing, the bleaching of her hair, full of salt on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides, the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now the week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
The way you're bathed in light reminds me of that night God laid me down into your rose garden of trust.